So, gotta get out of the back, dude. Colton, he's just slacking. He's slacking on the job always. So, an MLB trade rumors article about a trade candidate, aka Ha Sung Kim, talking about his underwhelming rookie season, how he posted a bit better of years in the second and third years, and put up like 5 WAR last year. It was very, very good. Talking about how the Padres got a good amount for him, but maybe they need to trade him to kind of figure out their like the tax situation for them, like the luxury tax. I mean, he's not getting paid that much, but they could recoup a lot of value from Ha-Seong Kim here. And down here, way down before, like after all the things that they're talking about signing, Jackson Merrill's mentioned here. There's a little team by the name of the Seattle Mariners. The Brewers, Blue Jays, Mariners, Giants, Angels, Tigers, Cubs, and Marlins all have holes to fill in their infield. It's funny that the Marlins are mentioned. Like a Luis Ariz for Ha-Seong Kim, just 1-to-1 swap. Um, I think that'd just be kind of funny. But the Mariners are listed here, and obviously this is not saying that they're rumored to be trading for Ha-Seong Kim, but they're mentioned as having a hole in their infield, which I think a lot of us would agree with. That a second baseman named Ha-Seong Kim, who put up 5.8 WAR last year, would fit right in with the Seattle Mariners. He can play short, he can play third as well, and that would move the platoon of Josh Rojas and Luis Urias. That would make them become a platoon, because Ha-Seong Kim is immediately your starter. A 110 OPS plus last year, very, very good. His strikeout rate has declined, or from his rookie year, it was a little bit higher. It's declined both years. So 17.2 in 2022, 19.8 in 2023. So still below league average. Not a big strikeout guy. Those guys get the contracts. I mean, again, Ha-Seong Kim, 4 years, 28 million. So he's only going to cost 7 million next year. And then a 25 mutual option. I doubt he accepts it, but they'll never trade Kim. They open and sold in 2024. See, that's a big hangup. And that is something that is confusing about the trade rumors for the Padres. I could see an in-season trade for him. I could see an in-season. I could see an in-season trade. That's a mouthful. For both these guys, actually making a lot more sense than trading them in the offseason. But good point, Donatello. He's not a look, okay, StatCast bubbles and whatever, they're not a perfect measurement of a good baseball player. It's not always a guarantee that everything has to be in red for you to be a good player. Some of the blues can allow you to still be a good baseball player because this is expected WOBA, expected batting, expected slugging. Average exit velocity, it's not pertinent to his game. It's not really what he does. And he's really great on defense, great runner, and he just has a very good approach at the plate. Ha-Seong Kim is a guy that would immediately be an upgrade to your infield over Luis Urias and Josh Ross, without a question. And what it would cost you to field him next year is just $7 million. And that's it. And I think the Mariners can still operate within their payroll constraints if they didn't have to give up any like offloading payroll. Say, like, again, talking about trading Ty France in this. I don't think they need to do that because, I mean, Ty France is getting paid $6 million, so this would almost be like a wash money-wise. So $7 million added to your team for 2024, and you get Ha-Seong Kim involved, I'd be pretty okay with it. And the Padres roster resource page, they're looking a little thin in the major league outfield talent. I mean, they've got Tatis out there, so you trade Ha-Seong Kim, and then who steps up into second base for them? Jake Cronenworth can move back to second base. You trade them a first baseman or a first baseman prospect, or you could trade them, say, Sam Haggerty. He could play second base, or Ryan Bliss, and he can play second base. Jed Fish, the new UW head coach, he's going to take a ton of his Arizona staff with him because DeBoer's taking all of his to Alabama. Yeah, what a mess for UW in the last couple of days, by the way. Just a weird situation. But I think in terms of trading with the Padres, what it would make sense to do if you can get Ha-Seong Kim, because they're going to want some pitching because their pitching's a little not super great. I'm sure they would want a little bit of pitching. If you can get Ha-Seong Kim for like Emerson Hancock and Jonathan Clase, I'd be in. Maybe go less than Jonathan Clase. Let's go like a Cade Marlowe and Sam Haggerty and Emerson Hancock. I mean, they'd never do it. But If that's what it would like, you could kind of see the vision for where the Padres might be at in like a gap year, essentially. I could be in on trading for Ha-Seong Kim, and I don't think the Mariners would be super over their budget by doing that as well. So Twins want to dump salary. They haven't done it yet. They're just waiting for the market to really settle in on Jorge Polanco and Max Kepler. For Kepler, I mean, for the Mariners, I just don't see the fit at this point with what we've got. And Polanco does make a ton of sense. I didn't want to package around Polanco or like Willie Adames for this because we've talked about that, I think, a bit more on the channel already. So I wanted to kind of hit on Ha-Seong Kim and Luis Arraez. I really like Ha-Seong Kim, truthfully. He would be my pick over Arraez personally. I like what he brings defensively and on the base paths, and I think his bat definitely not nearly as good, but I think in the right situations can play just fine. He's posted above 100 OPS pluses the last 2 years. I'm not worried about it dipping below that, and I think he'd be a great addition for the Mariners for not a big cost, not a big asking price. For Luis Arraez, it's a little different. So ARB eligible, he's getting paid 11 million is what the estimated was on Spotrac, and the Marlins didn't reach an agreement, so they're gonna have to have an arbitration hearing. And Woo for Noelvi Marte. I don't know, dude. I think the Mariners are holding on to their starting pitchers, the young guns, which would make trading for Luis Arraez very, very tough. But you guys all know Luis Arraez, two-time batting title, has been able to hit the hell out of the ball ever since he came up in Minnesota. The trade that sent him to Miami last year was just pretty wild. Pablo Lopez, a guy that if we were to make that trade last year, you're probably sending Logan Gilbert or maybe George Kirby. Probably Logan Gilbert. So think about that. With now he's just hit 354 with a 133 OPS plus. You've got one less year of him, sure. But Luis Arraez, dude can hit. Just flat out, he can hit. Doesn't play great defense. He'd probably be a liability for you over at second base. But you get him for 2024 and 2025 for probably 11 million this year and like 15 next year, unless you trade him. It's a hard trade to kind of figure out for the Mariners in terms of money because of their payroll constraints. But Luis Arraez, we know he can hit the ball, and that is his biggest tool. Lots of red, aside from the things that really kind of I think there's some blue here that is kind of concerning. Like the chase percentage can be kind of concerning, but he never whiffs. Jesus. He never whiffs and he never strikes out. He's always just putting the bat on the ball, and he's able to do it at a very consistent rate. So consistent that he hit 354, which led the league last year. The entirety of MLB. Dude was the best hitter, but defensive liability. So it's going to cost more because he is that great of a hitter, and you're trading for offense a bit more. And this estimation from Spotrac's 11 million, could get 12. I don't know how it will fully work. So the Mariners really couldn't afford Luis Arraez as it stands right now. And as far as a trade goes, like you're gonna have to give up, I think. Colt Emerson might have to go in this deal. If you're the Marlins, you're saying no to anything other than like Colt Emerson, I think. Maybe I don't think they'd want Harry Ford. I mean, I don't think the Mariners want to trade Harry Ford, but like Colt Emerson makes a lot of sense because he's a second base shortstop prospect that will eventually be able to. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want them to trade Colt Emerson for Luis Arraez, but or Cole Young. I'd say either one. There would be a big mistake for the Mariners to do that, but that's what the Marlins would probably be asking for because they don't need pitching unless they trade unless they trade Jesus Luzardo. And like looking at their roster resource page on Fangraphs, they don't have a bunch of holes, which is why I'm confused about why they'd want to trade Luis Arraez right now. Maybe a trade in season makes more sense because realistically, I think it does. If you're not in it at the deadline, trade him to a team that is. No, I know. That's the hole. That is the hole. Is Avisail Garcia. You trade them Ty France. You move Josh Bell to first, or you move Josh Bell to the DH, Ty France at first, and you have Ryan Bliss go in with the package as well. Because Garcia is terrible. He has been bad with the Marlins. He has been healthy, but definitely not worth the contract they gave him. 4 years, like $53 million. Their bench is not great, but upgrading their bench isn't going to be worth trading Luis Ariz. And then their pitching staff, like Trevor Rogers was good, like Edward Cabrera, great, Braxton Garrett, great. You're like, these pitchers are insane, and they've got Sandy Alcantara out for the year. Their bullpen was pretty good last year. It could regress, but I don't know how the Mariners would fit into a Luis Ariz trade, and I really don't see it, one, happening because of this cost. How many games did Luis Ariz play at first base last year, Colton, you asked? And I'll answer, it's not many. 12. Played 65 in 2022, which is when there was that conversation of like, who's better, Ty France or Luis Ariz, because like the All-Star game voting and whatever. But yeah, second base, it wasn't great there defensively. And Dorian, what's up? What's up? Accent's fantasy team legend Jesus Luzardo, dude, dynamite last year. Absolutely dynamite. So that's why I think, I know it's crazy to not want to trade for the guy that hit 354 last year, but I'd rather trade for the guy that hit 260. I'd rather trade for Ha-Seong Kim. Arises everyday DH. You can't play Mitch Garver then, unfortunately, Nicola. Unfortunately. Prima, thoughts on Locklear? Think he's going to be great? I think he's got a great chance in 2025 to be the everyday first baseman. Come up next year at the end of the year, maybe post All-Star break, trade deadline area, and he could be an impact bat. I think he could be the everyday first baseman by 2025. Third base is probably out of the cards for him because I don't think that athleticism is necessarily still there. I think he's definitely grown into more of a first baseman role, but I like Locklear a ton. Maybe trading him in the package for Luis Ariz could make sense. And then Locklear's there with Josh Bell, maybe. But I don't want to have to trade Tyler Locklear. I like him quite a bit. But no to Snell. Do we think Snell still makes sense? I'll answer that in a second. But need a moment. Blake Snell's high risk, high reward free agent, you feel? We can touch on that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm crazy for wanting Ha-Seong Kim more than Luis Ariz, but I think the package would be less. You don't have to pay him as much. Allows you to have more flexibility within the season. Sure, you're going to lose him at the end of the year probably, but for 1 year, get Ha-Seong Kim on the team. Allow Josh Rojas and Luis Urias to be a platoon. I think your roster is about as complete as it's going to get within the payroll constraints. So that's my little take on the second baseman market. The Mariners probably aren't going to make these trades. Like Jorge Polanco is probably more likely. They might just roll out Luis Urias and Josh Rojas and call it a day. And that's just the fact of the matter, that they don't want to have to make those moves because they don't really see the fit, or they don't see the, I guess, opportunity cost being as high as maybe like we do. They trust Luis Urias for whatever reason. But we will move away from the second baseman topic for the time being. Go to more full cam, because I've ran through all of my bullet points I wanted to talk about with those second basemen. So thank you for entertaining me for a minute, chat.